Hello, and welcome to the round of 32, the OS World Cup. I'm Bubbleman, and joining me is Kano. How you doing, bud?
Honestly, I'm not too bad today, Bubble. How are you, man?
I am tired. This is the earliest I've been awake in probably 3 months.
Oh, well, I mean, you'll be right to soldier on through this. We've got a couple of good matches ahead of us, so that should hopefully wake you up in due time.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. It's first outing of Australia, and their opponent Finland. Not the first time these two have met each other. They did actually meet last year in group stages, where Australia took the match 5-1.
Yeah, going to be interesting to see if we do see a similar result from last year, or whether or not Finland have stepped up their game. Might see some differing results, especially with two of the teams having slightly changed rosters this year. We've got a couple of new players coming in and a few old returning faces as well.
We get to reveal the client. Look at that fancy background.
This is amazing. Look at it, it's moving and everything.
Much better than the inverted colours from last year, must admit.
Yeah, this is without a doubt a step up, which is something I'm very excited for. And on top of that, something else I'm also excited for is the warm-ups that we have in store for us. Gotta wonder if Australia or Finland are gonna hit us up with any of their local memes of the sort.
Oh, I actually thinking about that. No, you're right. I can't wait for the Finnish warm-up, because I've not seen anything on it, but I have a small feeling that Mara might have done something.
Oh, Mara, who knows? I mean, I'm looking forward to it, because to be honest, when it comes to Finland, I'm a little bit unsure as to what they would give us for a warm-up. On the other hand, I definitely know what Australia is going to come in with, and it's one of the two things. They've had a bit of a theme going on this year with Danganronpa, but at the same time, it might also have something to do with the Liberal Party, up the libs. I don't really know. There's been a lot of sayings that they've been going around, but definitely gonna have to see what they have in store for us. I'm not sure which one it's gonna be.
We have 5 Finnish players in the lobby at the moment. So at least we know they can post a team. Australians? There's only 3.
Team scattered. Got Jordan the Bear playing for Finland at the moment. Gonna get him switched over, and same for Wookie and Dragomob on the side of Australia. Seems like they just want to mix it up, you know. This is gonna be a friendly match ahead of us.
I wonder if it'd be legal to play warm-ups like that. Playing warm-ups on another team.
I mean, I don't see why it would be a problem. I mean, there's no points allocated for winning or losing. It's all a bit of fun.
As I said, these teams have met each other before. Ended up in a 5-1 victory to Australia. Do you think that is gonna? Do you think we're gonna see a repeat of that, or is there gonna be a different storyline this time around?
Yeah, it's honestly hard to say with these two teams because, as you said, the roster switches have been a thing. Finland have, I believe, 4 new players coming in this time around, so you're gonna have new players coming in who might be experienced or inexperienced, especially when it comes to OWC as well. Nerves are a very, very big thing. But Australia also have a couple of new faces. Rairaku and a Secret Box are also stepping in, as well as Mongiatso, so it's a little bit on both sides. You got new players, new experiences. It's hard to say. Like, we could probably maybe expect a similar result just based on the qualifier results, but anything is possible at this stage, I think. And especially with a different map pool as well. This is a slightly harder map pool from the previous years, so keen to see what happens. I think maybe 5-2, 5-3 in Australia's way. I think Finland definitely have it in them to take a few points, but I wouldn't doubt that they have the opportunity to take the entire match.
I think any team that's made it to the round of 32 has the opportunity to take a match off anyone, really, depending on whether they're having a good day. You can't really write anyone off. Everyone's so strong this year.
Yeah, I mean, to make it into the top 32, you had to prove yourself a fair bit. I mean, the qualifier pool wasn't exactly the easiest thing in the world, but yeah, here they are.
Of course, the change in difficulty from qualifiers down to round of 32, that could have an impact on the average scores of performances. Of course, when maps get easier, sometimes it can be harder to maintain focus. Ooh, this bit's easy. I'll just not focus on this and think about the hard. Oh, I've missed. You know, that's that sort of thing where you have to keep your focus on the easier patterns. Could the Australians fall foul to that, or do you think they've got the focus needed?
I definitely do think that they have the focus needed, but at the same time, player mentality can be a bit of a odd thing when it comes to these easier pools. There's been a lot of debate about like whether or not this should be a thing, or you know, just having to play the easier maps in general. It's a bit rough for some of these guys, but I definitely think it's possible for them to pull something up, even on an easier pool.
What about maps that are going to get picked? What are we going to see? Mostly no mod, mostly double time, mostly hidden?
I think for certain we know that Australia have a very dominant hard rock and double time team this year. They're actually falling a little bit behind in terms of their hidden. I think their roster was like switched up a little bit to kind of just go for strength in 3 mods specifically. As for Finland, I believe they were pretty strong in no mod and double time in the qualifiers, so we're probably going to expect a lot from no mod and double time. I think hidden will probably either be banned or neglected this round, but it's hard to say. Because you never know when a team might practice and just pull something out randomly. What are your thoughts on that, Bubble Man? Do you think either one of these teams might have practiced a hidden a lot to sort of give them an element of surprise?
There's always the opportunity to practice the reading hidden. Of course, we have an approach rate 8 hidden map, which is relatively low. We don't really see any approach rate 8 on maps higher than about 6 stars, so these players that tend to stick around the higher levels might not be entirely used to playing that low. And of course, if the other team catches that, they know that they're not going to perform too well. They could spend a lot of time grinding it, really practice.
Yeah, practice is definitely one of those things which comes in handy in these matches. I mean, at the end of the day, you're going to be practicing your heart out for OWC. It is the one big tournament of the year. So I'm keen to see what these teams have to offer, but we are going to be getting into the warm-ups here, and as expected, a Danganronpa mix has been picked.
Mapped by Grand Senpai himself.
I wouldn't be surprised if this is a collab, actually, but they're going to be getting into this one.
Am I reading that difficulty name correctly? Yeah, I am. It wasn't pixelated. Kangarompa.
Wait. Oh my goodness, the difficulty name, yeah. I just realized.
And we see the first use of no fail on both teams. This, a new introduction for this year. No fail on Score V2 has been changed from 0.5 times multiplier to 1.0, so teams can take it through no penalty, and even if they fail, their score will still count.
Yeah, and that's basically just been a thing to introduce failed scores counting into the tournament this year. It has been one of the counter methods of, having it be a thing. So we're probably going to be seeing a lot of teams running it just in case. Obviously, like in the early stages, it's unlikely that kind of thing will happen, but yeah, definitely something that we want to have there to avoid any form of upsets and to make things consistent where, players get the performance that they get. They get awarded the points for playing the map the way that they played it. But damn, this warm-up is looking pretty damn rough. That is, we got some fast sliders coming in here. This is a Grand Senpai mapping at its finest. You're gonna witness the best of the best right here, boys and girls. And Australia will take that warm-up pretty convincingly. But I mean, to be honest, that's expected. I wouldn't doubt that they've practiced that a lot. And now we have Finland's warm-up by the looks of things.
ETM9, okay. Yeah, I knew someone from the Finnish side will have done something for this.
Labeled banger. Uncompressed fury of a king size something. Do we want to know what that has?
Maybe it's a good thing that they got cut off.
Yeah. Definitely could have been something a little bit inappropriate, but who knows. We'll just assume that it's a king size bed of some sort, maybe. I think that's the only logical thing that comes to mind for me.
Chill out, dude.
He's just spitting fire at this point.
Yeah, it seems like it's a short song. They want to play it 3 times over.
You know what I'm saying, dude. I'm spitting fire like my llama. Ooh.
I mean, it's only fair to match the warm-ups, you know?
Oh yeah. High tier warm-up versus high tier warm-up. It's almost like the team should get an extra point for the best warm-up. I think that's fair.
Yeah, either that or maybe that should just determine who wins or loses the role. Like the pick or the ban order or something like that.
That's genius.
The only thing is it would encourage teams to... They would need to have a new warm-up for every round. I don't know if that's overkill or not, but... I mean, it would definitely keep the content fresh, for sure. Doesn't hurt to have more maps available to us. I mean, as a map pooler, we need as many maps as we can get, man. It's been a struggle.
You heard it here first. We're going to see this on DT in the finals pool.
Can't wait. But my bad, I shouldn't be leaking this kind of stuff.
Pog says secret box. Don't think there's any full combos have dropped yet.
Oh, Rariku drops at the end there. Oh, that's a lot of people dropping, I think. Or was that some sort of slider? What happened there?
It was a team fail?
I see.
I think the slider at the end killed Australia. What a warm-up. What a show. Very good.
So we're going to be getting into the roles, and we're going to be seeing who has practiced their roles this year, because this is something that teams need to do. I can't stress this enough every year. You got to practice your roles, guys.
Oh,
Grand Senpai, you see it here. Australia's been practicing it. It's going to be hard to top that. A 95. Dragon Mob rolls a 67. Finland been practicing a little bit, but unfortunately not enough to beat the Australian roll. Oh my goodness, Samoyed actually ended up rolling a 95 afterwards as well. But
yeah, but it doesn't really matter if your captain hasn't been practicing it.
Yeah, exactly.
So as it was said, the winner of the roll chooses who picks first. The lower roll chooses who bans first. In an attempt to make it slightly more fair, give both teams a choice on either of the 2 progressions. Of course, 1 ban in round of 32, which moves up to 2 bans in quarterfinals, and the banning goes team 1 gets 1 ban, and then team 2 gets 2 bans, both of their bans, and then team 1 bans again. To again try to even out. You don't have to worry about that too much for now. That's still 2 rounds away.
Yeah, I think it's going to be one of those things which, you know, you'll kind of just pick up as the tournament goes along. You'll get to see that in this rounds, you'll only have 1 ban from each team, but in the later rounds, we're going to be seeing 2. So it's going to be a little bit of a change from the previous years. But Finland has actually opted for Australia to ban first. So we're going to see the first ban coming out from Australia. What are your predictions for this one, Boba Man? Do you have any predictions, or is it...
Australia's ban. It depends on what they know about the Finnish team. Because as you were saying, Australia's roster's very DT centered. Do they know that Finland placed top 16 in DT?
I wouldn't doubt that they've at least checked the qualifier results. As for any other information gathered on the players, it's really hard to say because it's, you know, early stages. We haven't really seen many of these teams perform yet, so it's all fresh. They basically going in with little to no information on this one. I think that they may opt for a hidden ban of some sort, but it is probably unlikely. I don't think they'll be banning any hard rock or double time for sure. They are a very strong team in that regard. But we do see the No Mod 2 getting banned out here, which is one of the stream focus picks with a few 1/3 sections involved. Gonna be saying goodbye to that one.
I'm surprised they banned for Ultra players and not Carnation. Choosing to take out difficulty rather than more reading focused difficulty.
Yeah, Carnation might have just been something that they were more willing to practice, perhaps. It's really hard to say. I mean, in these early rounds, most of these teams should be capable of playing almost anything on this level. So I think bans are kind of just going to be focused around what the teams don't feel like playing rather than strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. That's a good observation to make. Quite a sound one. I think that'll hold true for at least 9 teams out of 10.
Yeah, without a doubt. And Finland do opt for the Hidden 1 ban, which is one of the lower BPM ones. It's a 155 BPM map, which involves a lot of split stream, low BPM finger control style stuff, with some spacing changes. Going to be waving goodbye to that one. Finland not looking to play that against Australia.
Relatively understandable. The Finnish team was their lowest placement. Hidden. I think they got 30th on that.
Yeah, not looking too hot on Hidden, but they did actually leave the ARA open, so that does call for them maybe potentially practicing this one really hard. And Australia have also opted to pick second, so Finland's going to be the ones picking first. Throwing them over the torch. What's it going to be?
Interesting thing to note, that Ultra players ban possibly fully targeted Finland actually getting second on Dreadnought in qualifiers. Very strong stream team.
Yeah, I mean, based on the qualifier results, that actually might be a very smart ban. That is a good pickup of a man.
The rest of the qualifier maps, actually, Australia take them all, including the AR8 Hidden. So it would take a good amount of practice and a lot of faith to pick that up for the Finnish team. They could. Hidden, the teams are relatively similar. For Finland, almost a lower ranked form of Australia in that they placed really high on double time. They placed relatively lower on Hidden. Brought their seed down a little bit. On the lower difficulty pool, consistency is going to be higher for the Finnish side. They do, of course, pick up Carnation first.
Wait, I think there's been a bit of a mix-up.
Has there?
Might have been one of those instances where you call out the wrong map. Yeah, I think they were actually going for No Mod 4.
Ah, okay.
So they made a mistake in their call, but we're going to get that one fixed up very shortly. And then we're going to get into it. First map is going to be the alternate focus map. Pretty tricky one, honestly. It's pretty consistent in difficulty besides the spaced out triples, which is probably going to see some unfortunate misses, but definitely pretty easy to hit if you are prepared for it and if you practice this map enough.
Quite a fast-paced song. Fast-paced map to go with it. Lots of space between those circles.
With this one being Finland's pick, I'm curious to see how this is going to go. I mean, this being their first pick, they would have had to have practiced this, but it is also the first map for every team. The nerves are going to be really, really strong here. As I mentioned, a few new faces in the game.
All 8 players electing to take no fail.
Pretty much probably going to be the safe call throughout the entire tournament. You might see the odd, Iron Man going strong without it, but I would say that's most likely going to be unlikely because, yeah, there's pretty much no point in just trying to, unintentionally lose your score for your team, But we do see an early miss coming out from Ken Raleigh there. Not looking good to begin for Finland, but it is early days, so there's plenty of opportunities for misses here. Two SS on the side of Finland at the moment though. Definitely does look like they've practiced this one, so that early miss could easily turn around, assuming if 1 or 2 of the players from Australia do happen to miss here. We've got Samoyed and Grand Senpai dropping combo there. 2 big combos dropping, even things out a little bit. Freeze also drops combo as well. It's not looking good for Finland at the moment. They've dropped a lot of combos. They have 2 high combos. Samoyed follows up with another miss. Grand Senpai has been the only one to miss for Australia so far.
Rookie going very strong.
Yeah, still going very hard with that SS. He is not messing around.
Oh, but there he does go. He drops that SS. Followed closely by Oiti.
Yeah, they're going to be falling victim to that triple section along with Samoyed resetting combo once again. Still 2 full combos on the side of Australia though. Ken Raleigh is the only high combo to rival them.
He's doing his best, but his team's not there to back him up. And with the drops from Samoyed, it looks like he's going to be closed out.
Gotta be honest, the irony of all of the alternate players messing up on the alternate map and the single tap chads are on top at the moment. Got 2 full combos coming in from Australia, Shiraho and Jordan the Bear. Ken Raleigh also only had the miss early on in the map, managing to full combo the rest. And Freeze with the 1x50. That is incredible accuracy. You had Wookie going very strong at the beginning of that as well with an SS for over half the map. And that's going to be Finland's pick going to Australia. Now it's Australia's turn to pick a map. Finland going to take this one away from them.
Australian big. I can see them going into DT.
Yeah, I think they're definitely going to want to test the waters with that one. As much as Finland did have a pretty good double time performance in the qualifiers, I think they're still going to want to go for it. I'm looking more towards double time 2 or 3. I don't think DT1 is going to be very likely. Probably going to see Fortinfield or Sason Spectacle coming out, but definitely room for surprises here.
Australian team, very good performances on DT in qualifiers, but they instead elect to go free mod 1. Unagi or Hanamodoi. 220 BPM or thereabouts. It's AR9.
Yeah, this is a Dallas map which is mostly focused on patterns and a little bit of density, but it's not going to be anything too challenging for these players. I think there is a possibility that we might see a few more people opt for hard rock, maybe for the extra score. We might even see an overmod coming out. Obviously, with the free mod rules being changed this year, that's going to be something different. Players are going to be forced to go with one player having hard rock or hidden hard rock, which are paired together, and then another player has to go hidden only. And then the other 2 players are free to overmod or undermod. They can basically do as they please, really. But yeah, that is going to be a rule change this year, which is going to see some interesting free mod picks for sure. We're going to have to force players onto hard rock and hidden, 2 of them at least. So it's like a half free mod, half force mod sort of situation.
It's going to be interesting to see who takes what. Especially considering one player from both teams needs hidden. Who's going to be the one to sacrifice themselves?
Yeah, it's actually
an awkward aim.
It's definitely hard to predict which teams are going to go for mods. I think Australia might opt for the overmod, but
Well, that they have
both teams. Yeah, both teams are actually opting for overmod here. We got Finland coming in strong with triple hidden hard rock, and Suntory obviously.
Full mods.
Yeah, they are going full mod at the moment. This is the most mods you can have in free mod with the rule change.
As well as with no fail. They have 11 mods on their side.
Yeah, I mean obviously if you count the no fail, but that's probably just going to be commonplace in these tournaments. Just pretend it doesn't exist, right? That icon's not there, and yeah, teams just won't fail, alright guys? We won't let it happen. But yeah, seeing an early miss from Grand Senpai. As I said, still early days. Wookie also finds a miss there at about 200 combo. These early misses shouldn't mean too much. It's going to come down to the ones that happen later on, most likely. Obviously Finland with the slight advantage in terms of mods, but score is ever so slightly in favor of Australia. Wookie actually getting a few 100s on that one. Suntory as well, dropping a little bit of accuracy.
Everyone hits it though. Fast string. 16 notes of 220 BPM. He misses again.
Yeah, Australia almost matching them with mods. Obviously they're running triple hard rock, but one of them being hidden hard rock. So we're missing a few hiddens from those players, but they are still showing why they are such a dominant hard rock team this year.
As you say that, the non-hard rock player Grand Senpai drops his combo.
Yeah, I mean, hidden on this is not the most friendly thing. Suntory is managing to hold combo, but accuracy is struggling just a little tiny bit. Wookie finds another miss. Ugity also dropping combo there as well for the Australian side.
But that does mean that there's 2 FCs to 3.
Yeah, this is definitely going to even things out, and the score might flicker back in favor of Finland. It's looking to go that way now. They just need to hold on. They have the mod advantage.
No, Wookie misses again just before the break. The advantage is still on the side of Finland, though.
Missing right before the break, you'd be kicking yourself over that one. Suntory also finds a miss. It's 2 full combos against each other. It's going to come down to whether or not these drop right here, right now. These players need to hold on as long as they can. The scores are very close. Despite that bar, it's actually going back ever so slightly in favor of Australia because they have some slight combo advantages. Wookie finds yet another chain miss. Grand Senpai and Ugity have both held on long enough for this score to go back in their favor.
Oh, and they came so close.
It was looking very, very solid for Finland there, but Suntory just happened to miss right near the end. That was a rough spot, but once again, Shirha and Jordan the Bear coming in with full combos. They are playing out of their minds right now.
It's 299s on the board.
Yeah, also Jup coming in with very impressive accuracy on hidden hard rock there. I believe that was 99.4, if I'm not mistaken.
That was... It was very high.
Very high accuracy
Didn't quite
for
catch
that.
it.
Yeah, for that map, that speed. Very impressive stuff from the Finnish side. I mean, as much as Australia has these 2 points, they're not getting them very easily. Finland's giving them a run for their money. And considering that was Australia's pick, that was looking pretty close.
So 2-0, but not a decisive one. We'll look to Finland for their next pick. Do they go DT? Try and play to their strengths against Australia's strengths?
It's really hard to say, because I think after that hard rock performance, they could dive into hard rock. They didn't do poorly, honestly. Like that was a good match for them. I honestly think it could have gone either way. So maybe hard rock might not be a bad idea, seeing as they are fairly strong in that mod too.
They could dive into hard rock, but the thing is they picked hidden on free mod, and it's a different beast. There's a lot of different reading cues that you have to take.
Yeah, that is true. I don't know, these predictions are really difficult when it comes to these two teams because they are fairly evenly matched in terms of what their skills reside in. You know, they're both fairly strong at double time, fairly strong at no mod, hard rock as well. Hidden, both of them are lacking a little tiny bit, but
I would love to see Carnation. I think that would be a good pick for the Finnish team. I also think Variable could be an interesting. It could bring about an interesting result at least.
And they're going to be opting for double time 3, which is Fulton Field. One of the slightly higher approach rate maps. They got 8.5 with double time that's about 10.1-ish. And
I think it's 8.6 if I remember correctly, which yes is 10.1.
Yeah, one of the few speedy maps in the pool with a few bursts. And a lot of short aim, but it's a relatively fast aim. This is 255 BPM. It's definitely not going to be a pushover map, that's for sure. But we get to see these two teams on their strengths. You know, they did well in double time and the qualifiers. Curious to see how this one does pan out.
Maybe speed against speed. I don't think there's any burst in this map longer than about 5 notes, but most of the 5-note bursts do go into repeat sliders.
Yeah, this is probably going to be a bit of a test of accuracy on these bursts, I would say. We've got a bit of a roster switch up as well. We've got Monk Yatsu and a Secret Box coming in, and I believe Dragon Mob and Hades are also coming in for the finish side. So changing things up ever so slightly. Obviously a change of pace as well. We're getting into that 1.5 times speed. Shiraha finds an early miss, Wookie as well. Early misses honestly aren't too bad. But Hades also finds one around 200 combo. That's starting to get into danger territory. Also follows up with another one. Accuracy is also struggling ever so slightly for that one.
Freeze looking strong, 99%. Highest accuracy on the board. This team is just not able to back him up.
Yeah, I would say Freeze is definitely one of the new star players of Finland that has come along and really proved himself both in the tournament scene and obviously on stage right now. Going absolutely wild with that 99.4 accuracy and a full combo still. Hades is not having a good time on this map at all though, 87% and just chain missing everywhere. Dragon Mob is also found a miss. Yeah, it definitely could be nerves. I mean, as I mentioned, there are a few new players coming into this. So, you know, this is your first match. Also, not only is it your first match in OWC, but also like the first match of the entire round. You know, we've had qualifiers obviously, which is a different story, but this is the first match of the Oswald Cup 2019. So,
Ooh, a bit of
you know,
PM coming from Secret Box. Is he going to feel the karma from that one? We'll see.
It's only a matter of time as we get further into the map. But yeah, Shiraha recovering pretty well from that early miss. Some high combos on the side of Finland, but unfortunately they are just falling behind.
Hana's just not getting into the groove. Maybe he lost his nerve, maybe his tablet's not in the right place, but very unfortunate timing for it all to happen.
Yeah, without a doubt. Freezed having a magnificent performance on that map there. But Australia proving themselves to be a very strong double time team. Shiraha only had an early miss, and other than that, 3 full combos from their side.
Nearly our first 4-way FC. Four-way S rank, nearly as good.
Yeah, still, huge shout out to Freeze. He is playing insane so far. I believe this is also his Oswald Cup debut, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so. This is his first year playing in the World Cup. Really showing his stuff. He's here to take names. And so far, from 3 maps, 2 of them have had a Finnish player having the most points.
Yeah, I mean, we've definitely seen that all the players on the Finnish side are capable of showing us some crazy stuff. But the thing is, it needs to happen all at the same time. That's the only difference between Australia and Finland at the moment.
Yeah, Finland have the players. They have the talent there. It needs to show itself. It needs to be apparent all at the same time instead of in dribs and drabs as it's coming now.
Yeah, we can't just have 1 or 2 MVPs. We need to have the whole team being an MVP for this one.
Wait to see what Australia pick next. They saw how dominant they were on DT. Do they pick it again? Do they take a Nomad? Do they take Hard Rock? Of course, they were the team that favoured Hard Rock over Hidden Hard Rock on the free mod.
Yeah, Hard Rock is definitely an option. I wouldn't be surprised if Hidden was picked as well, seeing as Finland did opt to ban one of them. But with Finland banning one, you never know if they practice the other one, you know?
Free
It's
mod
one of those
again.
situations. We'll be diving into free mod for the second time. Getting into one of the streamier free mods. What are your thoughts on this one, Bubble Man? I'm thinking, you know, obviously Finland being a team that's strong at streams, they definitely have the potential for this. It's hard to say whether or not we're going to see an overmod on this map, but it's definitely possible.
I think it's very likely that we'll see exactly the same mods as we saw on Hatchcat's 4.
You never know, because I think Finland obviously proved themselves to be really strong at Dreadnought, so maybe they might go for the safer alternative and run 2 players on Nomad. They might opt for 1 Hard Rock, 1 Hidden, and just play the safe route. I think that would maybe be a really good strategy for them, especially if they're not feeling too confident, because this map is quite tricky on Hard Rock. But I wouldn't say it's out of their reach. I definitely wouldn't say it's out of their reach.
With the reaction in chat, I think they've gone for the same thing. I think it's a 3-way Hidden Hard Rock plus 1 Hidden.
Yeah, that reaction definitely does warrant something like that.
We don't see Santeri in for this. He played very well on Hidden in the last free mod.
Yeah, it could just be a case of him not preferring the streams and more preferring the pattern-based aim. I would say that's the big difference maker between these 2 picks. This one's a lot more focused on hidden streams, so if you don't enjoy your streams, you might not want to be playing this one.
Which is odd, because I saw a good number of stream maps in Santeri's top plays, but maybe it's the Hidden throwing him off. Oh, we do see minimum mods on the side of Australia.
Yeah, Australia going the safe route, which is something that I actually expected more out of Finland, but I mean, I'm definitely keen on some surprises.
Joke with an early miss.
Having a bit of a rough start, but definitely plenty of room to pick it up. Them having the mod advantage makes a huge difference here, so that early miss is pretty much going to be negated at some point. As you can see, the scores are still in their favour.
Is on the Hidden, drops his combo too, and now it's 2 FCs to 4. A double miss, Grand Senpai and Wookie. Grand Senpai on the Nomad even, not what their team would have wanted.
Both of them trading misses at this point. Hades also finding another miss, having a bit of trouble with this map. Will be breaking on the buzz slider there. Hades is not having a good time on this map at all. Wookiee and Grand once again trading misses, but it's that extra combo drop from the side of Finland that's making the difference here. We've got nearly 2 full combos against 3. We need to see 2, if not 3, of the players from Australia miss right now and drop a lot of accuracy. They would need to chain miss. At this point, I think it's all said and done for this map. It's going to be going to Team Australia by around 600,000 points.
But yet again, the performance by Freezed.
Freeze is just a monster in this game. Like, he is having the most insane performance I have seen.
He doesn't have the backup.
Especially for someone who's debuting in World Cup. Like, what is happening right now? What is this man on?
Shaking, and for good reason. It's 4-0 to Australia. Not giving an inch. I think the only time Finland have been properly in the lead was at the start of this free mod because of their over mod. And in the middle of Unagi Bo.
Yeah, it's really hard to say whether or not Finland should have done the mod match on Mephisto just then. I think maybe opting for the extra mods might have been a bit of a risk, and it's hard to say whether or not Sunteri would have been a better choice on the hidden, but I'm not entirely sure. I mean, might not prefer the stream, so it's understandable to change things up a little bit, and even if you're feeling nervous, you know, anything is possible. There could be multiple reasons. But just based on the performance on the other free mod, it's hard to say why I wasn't in for that.
And what next? Is their last pick? They're in control.
Yeah, they have the ability to bring this one back. Let's see a tiebreaker. Come on, Finland.
Reverse sweep. Let's go, Finland. You guys have my support. Remember our scrim. What could they pick though? What is left? I'm still seeing Carnation. I still feel like that's quite possibly the best pick in the pool for them.
Carnation wouldn't be a bad option.
They seem to just not want it.
And they're opting for Hard Rock 1. Going to the aim consistency pick. Going to be challenging Australia on Hard Rock. But to be honest, based on their performances on Free Mod 1, which is somewhat similar, I wouldn't say they're exactly the same, of course. They are different maps in many, many ways, but they have been doing pretty well on Hard Rock. Mephisto was a little bit of a different story, but Tokimeki Sugar might actually be the map that they need right now.
Let's see if their comfort is there. Let's see if they can read it without the hidden. We know Australia can. We saw them take Hard Rock only on Unagi Bo, and we saw one on Mephisto.
Australia Definitely a team that is capable of rocking either hard rock or hidden hard rock, as we've seen so far from those 3 mods. On the other hand, we're going to be stripping Finland away of all hidden, so it's going to be a bit of a different story for them. We haven't actually seen them run any hard rock alone, I believe, on the 3 mods.
Definitely an interesting pick. They must have a lot of confidence in it to take it as their last resort, or what could possibly be their last resort. If they need a point to stay in this match. Still with all players taking no fail. I don't think I've seen one instance where no fail's been missing.
Jump finding an early miss. It seems like he's having a little bit of trouble with most of these maps. It could just be a case of, you know, breaking the nerves. Once you get that early miss, you sort of just like, you calm down a lot, you know? Shiraha also finds one. Rariku is going to be coming in for the first map. He's also another one debuting an Oxford Cup for Team Australia. But it could be another instance of breaking the nerves.
Did see him take hard rock in both the warm-ups, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, he's one of the hard rock and double time demons of Australia, amongst many others, but I mean, their roster is heavily formed around it, but they do have players capable of multiple things. You do find Jop. Yeah, it's not looking good for the Finnish side at the moment. Scores are somewhat even, but it is gonna slowly but surely close the gap. Oh.
Funny, I'm guessing.
Yeah, not quite sure what's going on at the moment.
Maybe not for Shiraha.
Yeah, Shiraha actually finding a miss there, so that does even things out a little bit. Still 3 high combos on Team Australia.
They're still in the lead in terms of combo. No, wasn't. Shiraha gets his combo back and takes all that lead.
Can we take a moment to talk about how Freeze is currently SSing the map? Oh, I was like,
no.
Commentator cursed that
Don't.
every year. Every single year I do this. Alright, I'm just gonna stop talking about players from now on.
Just let it happen. Next time you see it, just don't feel the need to point it out. Just imagine everyone knows already.
I'm so sorry. I'm crying.
Samoyed dropping from the Finnish side. Of course, with an SS, especially on hard rock, the OD usually at 10, sometimes 9.8, but never really below 9.5 even. An SS is incredibly impressive, especially on Score V2, where slider heads count for accuracy. Oops, he says, not knowing that was Kano's fault.
Alright guys, come on. We get it. Cast the curse is a thing, but I'm already sad enough, okay? I didn't mean for this to happen, and it happens every single year. It doesn't matter who it is, it just happens.
Didn't mean for it to happen when you cursed a player against Australia,
I mean, I did curse Australia last year. I believe that happened once in the tiebreaker, but yeah, two breaks from Australia. But there is only one full combo on the side of Finland, which is Dragon Mob. And he's competing against Ugi with a 99% full combo.
I don't think I ever see Ugadi play in community tournaments, and yet every year he shows up at OWC and he just performs.
Yeah, he's honestly not too big on community tournaments. He's just one of those guys that sort of likes to do his own thing in the, you know, the corner of his basement sort of thing.
Very impressive.
But yeah, he definitely does come and show up when it's needed. And OWC is one of those tournaments which just, you know, calls for him.
Talking about calling, that's going to call the match 5-0 for Australia. Dominant performance on that hard rock as well. 3 S ranks. And it's a shutout.
Despite the commentator curse just then, still think that would have gone to Australia. But congratulations to Australia for taking that one 5-0 against Finland. A step up from last year. Obviously Finland 5-1. But this year it's going to be 5-0. Australia looking pretty dominant, but we didn't actually manage to see a 4-way FC on any map in the round of 32 stage.
It has only been 5 maps though.
That
Any
is
other
true.
map, maybe. And also the fact that it's a lot more difficult than last year.
Yeah, and also having played your first match, some of these people were also debuting. You know, we've got both teams having new players debuting in Oz World Cup. And on top of that, being the very, very first match of the Oz World Cup, definitely lots of room for nerves and, you know, slight underperformances. But
It could have even been a case of throw out some of our less experienced players, let them play some maps, let them feel the pressure that OWC puts on you.
yep. Another big thing as well is that this year, since we are starting with the round of 32 bracket, Finland is not out of the tournament. So it's not like group stage where, you know, if you have your 2 bottom teams, they don't make it through. Finland have another chance, so they will be facing off against another team in the loser bracket at a later stage. I'm not quite sure who that is, but I do know that Australia will be progressing to verse the winner of South Korea or New Zealand.
Interesting match in both. In both possibilities, actually. Regardless of who wins, South Korea or New Zealand, facing up against Australia. Of course, SK versus Australia is going to be 8th versus 9th seed. Or you get Australia versus New Zealand.
Yeah, I mean, we're all very closely located. You got like Oceania, Asia, like whether it's the same time zone or like the same general area, it's like it's a close location in that one. It's going to be easy. Yeah, I was going to say easy for the scheduling, that's for sure. But yeah, you're obviously going to see the battle of Oz and Z, or you'll see South Korea and Australia, the 2 8th and 9th seeds, as you mentioned. 2 very, very strong teams. I mean, we got juggernaut teams facing off early rounds. Like, obviously, I mean, we're about to be casting another one of those matches. You got Hong Kong versus Norway coming up next, which is just a ridiculous match in itself to have in round of 32.
Hong Kong versus Norway.
This is not something I would have expected to see.
Imagine that. You would have thought, oh, these are meeting round of 16, but that just kind of goes to demonstrate how insanely high level most of the teams are in this tournament.
Yeah, a lot of teams have definitely stepped up this year in terms of their performances. I mean, the top 32 are a scary 32 teams this year. And I mean, these two are placed very closely in the middle. I believe Hong Kong is ever so slightly above Norway in the high seed, and Norway being on the top end of the low seed.
Norway in low seed.
Norway in low seed this year. A bit of a shock, but I mean, both of these teams are very, very similar. So it's hard not to justify this kind of match happening early. I mean, just look at these lineups. You've got a lot of returning players once again, but powerhouses on both sides. I just honestly don't know what to call for this match because these two teams are just insane, especially at early game. If there's one thing that these two teams do best, it's sweeping the early game.
Oh yeah, this is going to be a right good scrap, as we say. We've got 2 of the most experienced players in OWC on the side of Norway, Shu and GN.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, isn't it the 8th or 9th year? Some
The 9th year Shu has been playing the World Cup.
That is insane. That's longer than I've been playing the game for, man.
That's almost twice as long as I've been playing the game for. He's made the stick around. He's one of the top 3 players. Most appearances. He shares second place with Musty. 9 years each, and GN with 8. It's... Are they ever gonna leave? Are they ever gonna go away? Will we get rid of them?
I mean, there's only one question: are they going to retire, or are we going to see new people step up? You know, that's like the only real big difference that happens. Like, it's either these players are just going to be like, all right, I'm done with the game, or you know, you're going to have some other people who sort of just step up while they're just chilling in their own zone. You know.
I suppose on the other side, we can look at the roster for Hong Kong and wonder where Gids is, because if he'd have taken the captaincy role this year, would have shared with Aza the most experienced captain in the game. 6 years each. Of course, not there on the roster.
Yeah, not there on the roster this year, but also passing the torch onto good hands. Chaos Litz, pretty much just a beast in tournaments we've seen so far, especially when it comes to early game, and accuracy is a strong point for Chaos Litz. One of the Act Giants.
Big accuracy player. Of course, we've got the return of Denny and Nezar, CLP, community favourite.
Yeah, we've seen him do some pretty crazy things this year in tournaments, and obviously in the previous years. Been a wild ride, man. And as always, we're going to be getting into some warm-ups. What are we going to see out of these two teams? I'm honestly curious every time when it comes to these warm-ups. There's always something fresh.
Of course, we got Chaos Litz on one side. He can map their warm-up, and Norway, Yog Spy, Shu, GN, Cebu. They have a lot of map set collabs between them on the Norwegian side.
Getting into the Christmas spirit with this one.
I hope this isn't their warm-up. It's too early. It's too early for this.
Yeah, you're only, what, 15 days
November.
early?
It's still November.
Guys, come on, calm down. I mean, speaking of Christmas...
We're not working in retail, are we? We don't have to have this yet.
I was about to say, like, you know, walking around my shops the other day, I managed to see a couple of Christmas trees already being placed up.
Oh,
what's going on, man? It is November. Put your jingle bells away, right?
Oh, make it stop.
Yeah, at least we got the Christmas paddles to make up for it in chat.
I'm assuming this is the warm-up then. Oh, thank God. Ah.
We're saved by a banger. Well, another banger at least. Of course, if you're into that Christmas jingle, it's entirely up to you. You might have been jamming out. Don't want to completely disrupt it, but we will give you something else to jam to. But yeah, it won't be too long before we get into the next match, which is going to be Hong Kong versus Norway. Just going to be getting everything prepared for that one. And we will be getting straight into the warm-ups. But yeah, who are you guys going for in this one? Make it known. Are you here to support Team Norway, or are you going to be supporting Team Hong Kong? Let your voices be heard.
Shall we look at some qualifier stats while we wait?
I definitely think it's worth doing, seeing as these two teams are very closely placed in the qualifiers.
We've got Hong Kong at seed 15. We've got Norway at seed 18. So, by all rights, this should be one for the books. We have Hong Kong getting 8th place on No Mod, 9th on Hidden, and 10th on Hard Rock. Oh, please keep this music on. Oh.
Oh, so this actually was the warm-up after all. My assumption is that this is probably Norway's. I really doubt that Hong Kong would have picked something like this, but...
Especially with Yokes playing GN going Hidden. We saw it last year where they double FC'd a Jesse map on Hidden, and it was AR7 if I remember correctly.
Gonna be taking us on a wild Christmas ride. Yokes is actually just going insane at the moment. GN also has very high accuracy, but I do believe he found a miss earlier on. Oh wait, no, they both actually found a miss. I just realized Shoes combo.
Shu being old player, he's going to be used to this sort of patterning, this sort of mapping.
Also the song choice as well.
Yeah,
I was gonna say
song choice.
Song choice was definitely a thing back in what, 2011? This is probably even older than that, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm very impressed with how MCY was handling this map. Not someone I've seen much out of in terms of tournament scores.
Pretty solid stuff. I believe Shu did actually full combo the map. That was impressive. GN's accuracy also as well, 1x100 with 2 misses. Oh boy.
Oh, here we go.
Wait.
No,
Wait a minute.
I think that was Hong Kong's warm-up.
I'm honestly so confused at this point. Obviously I know this map of being you know, from Norway, but wait a minute. This isn't right. Something is not right here. These are very backwards warm-ups until we got to this one, of course, but
Hey Kano. Pineapple on pizza?
I can't answer that question on television.
No?
How about you, Bo, man?
You owe people an answer. The people need an answer, Kano.
I think I'm gonna leave it up to imagination for that one.
No. Boo. Come on.
I mean, come on, when hasn't imagination saved you? I'm sure many times late at night it's saved you as well.
Excuse me? Rein it in, man. It's November.
Look, man, I'm just talking about those times when you're just getting hungry and you're thinking about food, alright? What did you have in mind? I mean, obviously you might have been thinking about pizza. After all, we are on the topic.
So on the Hong Kong team,
moving on.
We did see them take high placements in No Mod, Hidden, and Hard Rock. In fact, almost top 8 in all 3. They got 9th in Hidden, 10th in Hard Rock. It was their double time scores that seemed to let them down a little bit. They got 28th in that mod. And with
seems like
three maps in that
teams.
pool.
I can say it seems like both of these teams actually don't really favor double time at all, so we're going to be seeing a similar thing to the last matchup, where one mod is kind of going to be neglected in a way. We might see some experimental picks, but it's hard to say.
I'd agree with that. Norway, on the other hand, have 11th and 5th in No Mod and Hidden respectively, and then 25th in Hard Rock and 29th in DT, so ever so slightly edged out by Hong Kong.
Yeah, this is going to be one of those instances where Hong Kong have the slight advantage on Hard Rock and Norway have the slight advantage on Hidden, so it's a little bit different from the last matchup, but
we might see a lot of DT. They're very, very even on that.
Yeah, I think it's possible. We're going to be seeing some interesting double time picks. It's going to come down to whether or not both of the teams have practiced their heart out on double time, seeing as they did struggle a little bit in the qualifiers, but we're going to have to wait and see what they have in store for us, because, I mean, with enough practice, I wouldn't doubt that these two teams can definitely be top contenders on double time. But what are we expecting in terms of bans this time around, Boba-Man? I think it's pretty clear what we're going to see banned against Norway, because it's pretty much the staple ban every single year.
It is. However, looking at qualifiers, again, Hong Kong played very, very well on it. They got 9th place as opposed to the 5th on Norway, which is a surprisingly low rank for what they're known for. You would have said Norway, oh, they'll get first. They'll get first on the AR8, but it doesn't seem so. So we'll see. Of course, it's a slightly easier map this time. A little bit easier to read, a little bit easier to aim.
We also have Yolkspie clearly not practicing the rolls this time around and getting a 2. And Chaoslet's having no trouble whatsoever beating that roll with a 56.
Now there's a strategy to rolling, isn't there? There's the strategy. You need to practice rolling, but you need to know when to stop, because otherwise you're going to use up all your high rolls.
I mean, you can think of it like gambling almost. You know, you have to like be careful with the probability.
You have to watch your opponent's faces for any tell signs. Calculate the probability of them holding a jack when you've got the other one in your hand.
I definitely do think we're getting a little bit too in-depth when it comes to the roll strategy. But you also might be revealing strats that other teams might capitalize on you now, man. What are you doing?
Well,
You've given away too much
whenever
information.
I play poker, I just stare people dead in the eyes and I don't look at my cards once.
I just imagine that being somewhat terrifying.
I usually win as well. It's great. It's perfect strategy. You look people dead in the eyes. You don't take one look at your cards and you go all in.
I'm looking forward to seeing the rolls from you this year. All right, you better stick to your word. So we actually have Hong Kong banning Hidden 1. Hidden 2 is going to be left open against Norway. Question mark?
Almost, yeah, to be expected. Hidden 1 is tough. It's very difficult. Norway, arguably the higher placement on Hidden 1 than Hong Kong had. Bigger difference in scores between them is what I'm trying to say. Although I'm surprised, Ultra players, the Norwegian ban, Hong Kong getting 7th on the stream parallel, Norway getting 15th. What I'm interested is Hard Rock 2 is left open, where Hong Kong got 2nd in qualifiers. 6.5 pick. It's there, it's open.
Yeah, that is actually an insane difference, as you mentioned. The fact that they have I guess such a difference in their hard rock, you know, being able to play CS 6.5 quite comfortably, but obviously struggling with the other aspect of hard rock, which is, I guess, you know, generic aim, generic consistency in a way. Obviously the qualifier maps were slightly different from the current ones in round of 32, so they might have a bit of a better time on something that's a little bit lower BPM, but gonna have to see how that one does pan out. Definitely looking to be a scary hard rock team, and the fact that Hidden 2 is open and Norway have the ability to pick it, we're in for an exciting match.
I suppose there's also the mind games there with Hidden 2 of, did Norway practice it?
Yeah, actually, that is true, because they might not have put much practice into it, thinking that it would have been insta-banned against them. I think any other team would have insta-banned it against Norway. Unless, of course, you want to play it against them for fun, but you know, you're gonna be having a very close match on a map like that. So I think Hong Kong have definitely practiced this one and are looking to rival them on this.
What else could be picked from this map pool? Accuracy on no mod seemingly in the favor of Hong Kong. Would you say that they'd take a lot of no mod?
I mean, we've got a Chaos Blitz map in the map pool, so there might be some bias from Hong Kong for sure, but it's... Yeah, I think you are definitely right about the no mod being in their favor ever so slightly due to the accuracy difference, or at least from Chaos Blitz. Chaos Blitz is probably going to want to play a lot of no mod this time around, and I think Hong Kong will likely want to play around Chaos Blitz and Denny and Nezar specifically, but there are definitely a lot of other players that they can opt to go for. Hello Tom Lowell is definitely another one who's somewhat underrated.
We wait for the players to filter back into the room. It is, of course, as expected, Hidden 2, the first pick by Norway.
Yeah, and what can you say about this map, Bowler Man? In your experience from playing it, me obviously pulling it.
My experience from playing it, it's quite low approach rate. Very dense. There's a lot of circles. There's a lot of circles on screen at once. It can be a little bit tough to trace the path which you need to follow.
Would you say that the players are sometimes overwhelmed when there are so many circles on the screen at once, but they're also fading at a very slow rate?
Could even be so.
That is shocking, honestly. But yeah, this is somewhat tricky map. It has a lot of gimmicky, you know, rhythm patterns. It's going to be some hard stuff to read. It's going to be hard to say, you know, because I think when players practice this, it should be fairly simple and straightforward for them, but the original gimmick and I guess the basic fundamentals of the map are quite difficult. But once you get the grasp of it, it should be fairly simple for most of these players. Especially seeing as, you know, Norway have opted to pick it. They're definitely a team that's strong in A-Rate, and Hong Kong have proven themselves in the qualifier stage to also be rivals.
It's even possibly the easiest map in the pool, I think. Let me just check that. Yeah, I think so. I think it's the easiest map in the pool in terms of star rating. All of the difficulty comes from the reading.
Yeah, I mean, come on guys. The star rating is obviously accurate, 100%. 5-star map in my World Cup map pool. What's that doing there?
We want 7 stars. Shame on you, Kano. Put Big Black in the map pool.
Look, I'm trying to do the best I can, but unfortunately there's just not a great selection.
That's more like it. There we go. That's the map I want to see in my World Cup.
Image material. Wait, why is that there?
It's because they're playing it. Best of one.
I see.
Seems like there are some connection issues for GN. Doesn't seem like.
See, this is what happens when you load up the Grand Finals map pool on the client already. We accidentally reveal things like this.
It's image material. How long is that? 6 minutes? Is that tiebreaker?
This is
image
not even a
material tiebreaker.
No, it's not even a tiebreaker. I mean, we just put a long hard rock pick in there.
All Stars mode? Oh wow. Oh, imagine that. Also, this is totally how image material sounds.
Accurate representation. The vocals and everything.
It's just image material. The image material you know is a remix. Okay, no, I think the streamer had enough of us talking about image material.
I honestly don't blame them, but at the same time, it's a very exciting map. And it's definitely given me some ideas.
Oh, don't.
I'm kidding, Bubble Man. I would never do that to you guys. We definitely didn't put dubstep in the pool last year, right? I remember that being part of the showcase. We might have to hit you guys up with something else this year, but I don't really know. Maybe we might even get something mapped specifically for it.
I'm interested.
I'm listening. But yeah, dubstep hands down was the best map of last year's Grand Finals pool. I think that map pretty much just had everything that we needed, everything that we could have asked for in a map pool. Like in a single map.
As well.
I believe he was the one, but don't quote me on it. I'm not. Just remember that it was present. No, that was Poke, I think. I'm pretty sure Poke got the replay for that. Yeah, I know Wolf was playing through some of the maps in the showcase last year, but we are back.
Oh, we're in.
And we are a quarter of the way through the map so far. All players, well, never mind, not all players. 5 players holding on to a full combo. We've had an early miss from Denny and Nezza. Cebu and Shu have dropped combo. Cebu also finding a miss there. So far, Hong Kong looking very, very strong on this. I mean, we did mention that they are going to be able to rival Norway on ARA, and this is a surprise to me. I mean, this could be a case of what you said, Bobbleman, where maybe Norway didn't get the opportunity to practice this as much as they would have liked to have. But here we are now, with Hong Kong in the lead, holding on to 3 full combos and another near full combo. It's not looking good for Norway.
I was about to mention 299s on the side of Hong Kong, but one of them drops on the slower section.
Yeah, definitely the place where you would expect accuracy drops. Lolly were finding a big accuracy drop just before this solo section. So far, still holding on to their combos. Hong Kong have 3 full combos against 2. Shu and Denny and Nezza basically rivaling each other, but Cebu the only one falling ever so slightly behind.
It does look like Norway possibly misjudged how well they can play compared to Hong Kong on this hidden pick.
We will be taking a short intermission while we wait for the client to catch up.
Because connection issues on players, these are spectator clients, so if the player has a connection issue, the spectator client will take a small while trying to catch up, rebuild its buffer as the player sends out data over their slightly scuffed connection.
Yeah, I mean, we do blame the tournament client for a lot of these issues, but sometimes it's actually on the players. Obviously, if they do have some poor connections at the time, or just in general, we are going to see some issues occurring, and it's hard to say if that's a disconnect from the server or whether or not the map is just over and is out. Yeah, I would say we're definitely behind, and the map has ended, but so far that looks like...
Are we okay to call this one? Because we can call it that Hong Kong do end up taking that. Cebu didn't have the points necessary. He had 400k.
Okay, so it's actually coming in strong with 1,021,000. Absolutely stellar performance from 98 and 98. That accuracy is very, very impressive. Along with Hello Tom Lol also matching pretty much almost the same accuracy.
Well, he jokes by +1 slider in for him, so plus a little bit of score.
I mean, that's an interesting way to start off this match.
Yeah,
Hong Kong beating Norway on the A8. That's already an upset in itself, I think, for a lot of people. I mean, Hong Kong are known to be an early game team, at least very focused around the early game. They're definitely a team that is capable of taking down teams much later on as well, but they are definitely very strong here. And they're going to be picking double time 1, so this is one of those instances where we are seeing double time being picked. They've practiced this. I would say they've practiced this, obviously, if they're picking it, but, you know, both of these teams... Yeah, both of these teams did have a bit of a rough time in the qualifier stage for the double time modification, but this one isn't that similar to the other ones. It's a little bit more focused on aim. There are some burst aspects, but it's not as prevalent as the other double times from the qualifier stage.
Thank you, Mr. Matt Pooler, for that information. We'll see GN PL in for Norway. We're talking about newcomers, talking about rookies. Look to these teams, they have some good history on them. MCY, Hello Tom, Lolly Lover are the new players for Hong Kong. We see Hello Tom Lol quite often on Twitter, even showcasing his skills. Very, very underranked player. Quite possibly one of the best players under 3-digit rank.
Yeah, as I mentioned, Hello Tom Lol is definitely one of those underrated, underranked players that have come along and just, you know, really shown their stuff in these tournaments so far. There's definitely more to come.
MCY, very, very mechanically skilled player. Saw him climb pretty high up the rankings in recent times. See him put his consistency to use now on the Hong Kong team. Of course, on the other side, the Norwegian team, we have 7 returning players. Cebu for his 5th year, already been mentioned. Shu for his 9th, and GN for his 8th. Warwick actually comes back. You see him in the room now for this DT. The hovering mouse player of ages past makes his return. Afro his 4th year, Kevzy and Yokes Pie for their 3rd. The only newcomer this year, Fiel, made it onto a team with a good amount of pedigree, I would say.
I mean, you've got a lot of players with experience behind you. Doesn't hurt to bring in some fresh talent every now and then. And obviously Fiel is going to be coming in for this double time. I think that also might be part of the reason why he's on the team, you know, to fill in the gaps that Norway have needed. Warwick and Afro have both dropped combos so far. It's not looking good for Norway, but this is Hong Kong's pick after all, and they didn't really enjoy double time based on the qualifier results. So this one has potential to go either way. It's going to come down to whether or not we see some misses. Rui, she does find a miss on the side of Hong Kong. They're going to have to see a lot more than that in order for a comeback though. The song does start to build up a little bit. We're going to see some more aim sections and some slight burst sections where players might miss. Things are going to start building up. Misses should happen here, if anywhere. It's going to be Fiel actually breaking for Norway. That leaves one full combo on their side against 3. At this rate, it just looks like Hong Kong are going to storm away with this point. Afro finds another miss. Yeah, having a bit of a rough time. Warwick ended up recovering a little bit from the early miss, but yeah, Kevzy the only one going strong, holding on to a 99.6 accuracy, but MCY also on the side of Hong Kong with 99.7.
Two misses in this section so far though, Petal and Ryushi. Ryushi missing again.
But yeah, these misses are happening too late.
Apart, it is too late. Warwick dropping combo though really seals it. Hong Kong looking very strong.
Yeah, they are looking very strong. That performance from MCY4, 3 100s on that map is insane. Kevzy also pretty much matching that with just one less, 4 100s. Solid performances from both of those players. Denny and Neza also getting a full combo.
There's two players managing to break the score cap with spinners. Kevzy's spin must have been incredible.
Honestly, wouldn't have been surprised if Norway made a comeback just from that spin alone. That was a lot of power put into that one.
I'm sure he didn't pull out his hand drill.
I don't think there would have been a hand drill, but I mean, we might have seen the desk spinning from the amount of power put into that one.
The desks. It's 2-0 to Hong Kong off the back of their pick. The ball's in Norway's court.
Yeah, and I mean, it's hard to call the hidden 2-pick a misplay in a way, but I don't know what they go for now, because after that, like, that was probably one of their strongest maps, and Hong Kong managed to take that away from them. So where do they go now? Did they dive into free mod perhaps?
Free mod could be an option. Both of those maps, I think, are approach rate 9.
Yeah, I think trying to find an accuracy battle against Hong Kong on the no mods is probably not the go-to strategy, but they're going to have to pick out of their comfort zone, I believe. I mean, free mod is probably the closest to their comfort zone, but anything else besides that might be ever so slightly out of their comfort zone. You've got Hard Rock and Double Time, which they're not too fond of.
I said for the last match, I'll say it again, Carnation is looking good. Approach rate 8.5.
Yeah, that might be the next best option for them, at least in the no mod pool.
As well as variable challenge Chaos Let's on his own map. Might be a direction to take.
And yeah, we are going to see them go for free mod too, so they will be diving into free mod. Going to be interesting to see the mod combinations on this one, because we are seeing two different teams. They might go for the safer route. I think that would probably be optimal, but anything is possible. I mean, we've seen some crazy stuff happen so far. We saw Finland overmod on both of the free mods. I wouldn't be surprised if either of these two teams have it in them to do the same. Mephisto being another popular pick so far. We've seen it picked twice now. Highest popularity in the pool. Because in this match we've actually had two new picks. We had Hidden 2 and DT1, which were yet to be picked in the previous match.
Do you think we're going to see Hidden Hard Rocks on this?
I think the players that are forced to run Hard Rock or Hidden Hard Rock, we might see one Hidden Hard Rock coming out, maybe two. As for the extra modders, I don't think they're going to risk it, but yeah, they're definitely capable of doing it. I just don't think it's worth it.
I get the feeling that these teams are going to try and match each other.
Yeah, without a doubt. I think mod match is definitely going to be a thing for this round.
Because of course, if you see your opponent going 4 mods, over-modding, maybe even taking 3 Hidden Hard Rocks, you're going to think they have the score advantage.
Yeah, when teams overmod on this kind of stuff, it sort of throws a lot of mind games. I think that's why the beauty of free mod in tournaments is just, you know, you have the ability to play around with mind games. Like if you place extra mods, you might force the other team to do something that they're not comfortable with, because they may not want to mod match, or they take the risk of thinking, alright, well, if we do happen to stick with the lesser of the mods, you know, we forfeit the score no matter what. Like if they all FC, we forfeit the score. Like we will lose this basically, unless of course, you know, the modifications do happen to have low accuracy, but that's usually pretty rare. And even in most cases where there is less accuracy from those mods, the score tends to ever so slightly outweigh it.
You could definitely see a 94% Hidden Hard Rock beating a 99% no mod.
Yeah, that is definitely possible because of the score multiplier that we do see from these modifications, which is another reason why free mod is very, very special. Yeah, we might be seeing some 200 IQ big brain mind games coming in. Are we going to see the safe mods? Are we going to see overmodding? What's going to happen? So we actually are seeing some strong mods coming in from Norway. 3 Hard Rocks, one of them being Hidden Hard Rock. Hong Kong, on the other hand, going for the safer alternative of running Hidden and Hard Rock only on 2 separate players. A few of them actually forgetting the no-fail. Kevzy going man mode, as well as Judas and Chaos Let's. I don't know if it was a case of forgetting the no mod, but maybe just opting to go man mode, who knows. Gotta wonder if this is a situation of player confidence or just, you know, forgetting to place it there.
After and Warwick dropping. Followed quickly by Denny and Nezar.
as much as you've got the mod advantage on the side of Norway, their accuracies are dipping, and they don't have hidden hard rocks as well, so they are not at the greatest point multiplier, but accuracy is not in their fate. You've got Warwick rocking just to 90%, as well as Aphrodafra on 95, a little bit on the lower side, whereas Hong Kong looking to be pretty comfortable in terms of accuracy, as well as 2 full combos on their side. They are being evenly matched by another 2 full combos, but combo resets. At the moment, Norway does have the advantage with Warwick and Aphrodafra, but as I say that, Aphrodafra and Warwick both break. Tragic misses happening on the Norwegian side at the worst time possible. Ooh, Lolly Lover finding a lot of misses, chain misses all over the place, accuracy drops. Luckily the no-fail there to secure the score, regardless of that happening, but manages to build the HP back up in time. GN also finding a lot of misses at the end, but it's still not enough. That got quite close at the end, but Hong Kong will take that one away.
And Kevzi again, the MVP of that. It's twice now. Seeing a similar story to last time, I guess. Seeing Freezed carry, but his team not able to back him up. Maybe the same can be said for Kevzi.
Yeah, and this is a situation as well where you see the modifications really coming into play. Kevzi had a 97% full combo to Chaos Slits with 99% no mod, and had nearly 30,000 scored in favor. At the moment though, Hong Kong don't look like they're messing around. They have managed to take away... Yeah, they've taken away picks from Norway, and now it's their turn to pick the 4th map of this match. Are we going to see them dive into the no-mod pool? I think it might be time for Variable, or we might even see Older Rival.
I think we could see Hard Rock. I think not seeing Hong Kong pick Hard Rock 2 would surprise me.
That is very true, especially based on the fact that Norway did overmod and they showed what their Hard Rock strength looks like. As much as Kevzi did happen to full combo, there was a few players lacking a little bit behind, so they might dive into it, especially with Hong Kong performing so well in the qualifier stage, getting 2nd place on the CS 6.5 map. They might want to do the same thing on this one.
We get to wait to see what they pick. They're fully in control. They're 3 points up. They could go for an experimental pick even. They could take something. They're rolling. No, don't tell me it. No. They've essentially random their pick, seemingly. They rolled a 7. And then
Rolled
they
a 7, but they still pick no 1-1. Maybe they're doing it backwards or something.
Oh, they
or
rused.
maybe it was a counting strategy. Maybe it was like I can't even figure out a counting strategy where no 1-1 would be picked. Yeah, there's no counting strategy that would do that.
1 1 1 1 1 1 1.
Yeah, no mod 1, no mod 1, no mod 1, or no mod 1. Oh wait, was it no mod 1?
Oh dear
Not
me.
sure.
Oh, they got me at least.
Yeah, we're seeing some no mod 1 alerts in chat. We're in the danger zone, guys. You might be into this, or you might fall asleep during this. I'm not quite sure which one it's going to be, but it is Hong Kong's pick.
No mod 1, boring. Well, I suppose that's the name of the game for this pick.
Pretty much. I mean, it is focused on aim, and I mean, as much as everyone in the game typically is the best at this skill set, it tends to be the one that's found the most boring for some reason. I don't know why most people complain about it, but everyone apparently loves it and is good at it.
It's just basics, isn't it? It's just base skill set. It's nothing out of the ordinary, nothing taxing. the aims there, there's streams, there's really nothing to talk about in it.
I mean,
It's
this
just
is one of
normal
those.
mapping.
This is one of those situations where, you know, you've got chat thinking like, maybe I could play in World Cup now, you know, when they see this kind of map being there. And then they realize the rest of the pool exists.
Yeah, maybe for this one map. Meant to be here as something that everyone can play to test consistency. Baseline, can you hit circles? We'll see. Of course, Hong Kong with the supposed accuracy advantage, expected accuracy advantage. So we get into it. See a couple of no-fails spattered about just to stave off some team failing. Make sure their scores are counted.
Well, I'm still kind of confused by the fact that we're not seeing it as a staple thing, but I guess it is an early round where this kind of thing, you're not likely to fail on a map like this. It's round of 32, it's aim, it's straightforward. We're not really going to call anyone like full-on Rambo mode for not taking no fail on a map like this. Like, oh wow, look at these madmen go. But
I'm definitely expecting 4-way no-fails for each team on at least quarterfinals and above.
yeah, I can see that being the safe choice, regardless of whether or not the ending has fail potential or not. But yeah, we are getting into this one. Jump section is coming up soon. We might see some misses coming in. This map is pretty much spread out into multiple jump sections, as well as
do see a miss.
Slightly tricky streams. But yeah, the first miss is going to be coming from GN. Not having the best of time on aim at the moment. Getting into some more jumps. GN finds another miss on that section. Kevzy also drops as well.
The consistency test catching Norway completely off guard. We've got Fjell and Shu holding the FCs for Norway. But on the other side, after that chorus, Hong Kong. 3 SSs!
I mean, the 3 SSs are definitely worth mentioning. I mean, this map does have some streams which you could see some accuracy drops on. It's not all just jumps and straightforward stuff. Chaos Lids does drop the SS as well as Daniel Nezar. MCY4, the only player still holding. Oh, and Daniel Nezar actually finds a miss there as well. Fiel dropping a fair bit of accuracy on that stream, but still holding on through it. This is Norway's chance for a comeback. We need to see 2 misses from the Hong Kong side. Fjell does find a miss though in the end. It's pretty much all on Shu at this point.
2/3 of the way through, and the 300,000 points of deficit there. It's looking like a 4th point for Hong Kong unless something catastrophic happens to their combos and their accuracy.
Are we going to see the players without no fail being punished? Not likely, but it's still a thought. It's going to be 3 full combos against 1 at this rate. MCY4 finds a break, but it's not going to be enough. 2 full combos are still on the Hong Kong side against Shu, the only player holding on. It's Kevzy and GN, both have relatively high combos, but there hasn't been any resets since the break from Denny and Ezra as well.
Chaos follows up with a miss. We've still got Shu and Ryushi. Oh, and Ryushi misses!
Those misses happened at the most ideal time for Hong Kong, though, right at the end of the map. There's not going to be enough time for Norway to make a comeback here, I don't think. They do have some high combos, but I don't think it's going to be enough time. That score gap is definitely closing, but the time gap is not in their favor. Definitely did get a lot closer at the end there, but if only Norway had a little bit more time, they might have been able to bring that one back. But those misses from Hong Kong happened at the most ideal time, right towards the end of the map.
They already basically had it in the bag.
But
Not
Shu
quite enough.
being the only full combo on that map, coming in with a solid 99.19.
It's quite a interesting outcome for this. I would have expected this one to have 6-way, 7-way FCs. Not what I would have expected at all from the base consistency pick. We see Hong Kong take it though, and they go 4 points to nothing. Norway looking shut out of this. We expected it to be close. Hong Kong just decided to show up. Consistency second to none. Their accuracy seemingly unrivaled by Norway.
They are accuracy demons. We basically knew this from the start, but they are basically showing us what they were. You know, they are 4-0 up against Norway right now. And these two teams are very closely placed in terms of the seeding, so this honestly should have been a lot closer of a match, but there's still potential for that to happen. Norway could bring it back. It's not over yet.
They have options, but in the same vein of thinking, Hong Kong aren't out of options either. They've got Dynasty. They played very well on the CS 6.5, maybe keeping it back. They've got DT for Norway. They've got the free mod they could pick into again. Despite how it went last time, it's a completely different map. Carnation is low approach rate. They've got variable. Norwegian side very well versed in tech. They have options. They're not shut out. No mod 4 it is. With a Ranvu. What can you tell me about this map, Kano? We saw it last time.
It is meant to be the alt map, which is, you know, pretty much heavily focused on how well you can alternate throughout a map and, you know, control your cursor on specific style of patterns. But this also features some spaced out triples, which might trip up some of the players. But we have also seen players single tap this, so I mean, and they were the ones that actually managed to full combo the map compared to the players who were alternating. It's hard to actually call this an alternating map, but
you see, in my opinion, that's the mark of a good alternating map, just because it should be a little bit easier to single tap it. The snappier aim, making sure you're on every circle instead of flowing it.
yeah, without a doubt. I mean, obviously, in the previous mapping era, we did see a lot of those maps where they were typically around like 280 BPM, and you would see players being capable of, you know, alternating or single tapping very comfortably, because you'd have a lot of slider breaks in between where you can kind of, you know, catch your breath if you are single tapping. But obviously, if you were alternating, you would have had to have a little bit of control on that kind of stuff.
I suppose times have definitely changed since when you would see people single tapping 280 BPM. A lot more players choosing to alternate this time, or in recent years.
I think accuracy is definitely going to be something to look out for on this map, especially from the Hong Kong side. They are just, you know, obviously they've shown up in terms of their accuracy, but I think Chaositz is going to be a star player on this map, without a doubt. Chaositz absolutely loves alternating maps, or just, you know, maps of low BPM and tech variety. But there's plenty of other players who have the capabilities as well as him.
There's of course OD8, so accuracy a little bit easier on this in the grand scheme of things. You have a larger window, and Chaos Slits, you mentioned him being the first to miss.
Well, I mean, Shu was actually the first to miss, but from Hong Kong, yes, Chaos Slits did drop.
He does drop again. Sorry, I wasn't watching Norway.
But yeah, I mean, here I am saying Chaos Slits was going to be the star player, but it's actually looking to be the complete opposite at the moment. Having a bit of trouble in this one. Kevzy and Petal actually single tapping this as well. Petal does happen to drop though, so we're not going to see all the single tap chads on top, but
we've still got one, and we still got one on the side of Norway.
Yeah, Kevzy is going wild at the moment. The fact that he's SSing and single tapping is pretty nutty at the moment.
Some big boy plays. This map, 268 BPM single taps if you choose to single tap it. If you choose to stream it, alternate it, 134.
Now this is the Norway that we've been waiting for pretty much all match.
Now they're showing up. They're showing us what they can do. MCY, Lolly Lover, trying their best to keep Hong Kong competitive. They're there. They're breathing down Norway's neck. If anything happens, they've got Petal's combo, they've got Chaos Slits combo. And as the last space triple, Chaos Slits drops.
Both Kevzy and Lollylova are also still holding on to SS.
And Petal drops his combo as well. It's still the 2 full combos for Hong Kong. But Norway is showing up so strong.
3 full combos on their side against 2. Kevzy still holding on to an SS. Lollylova matching that as well. Insane performances from these players so far. But this is looking to be a pretty convincing point for Norway.
This is the first point for Norway on the board. Coming into the closing seconds of the map.
But it's not over yet. We are in the danger zone for Norway because it's going to be Hong Kong's pick, something that gives them an opportunity to pick to one of their strengths. We might see the Hard Rock 2 coming out, as you mentioned. But my goodness, Lollylova and Kevzy both managing to SS that map. Kevzy single tapping that and SSing.
That's very impressive. That's very, very impressive.
Pretty much going full key 1 mode at that point, but
you could say it's air quotes low BPM for an alternating pick, but it's still fast. That's nothing to scoff at.
Yeah, I mean, anything above 260 BPM single tapping is not a pushover.
As you said though, Norway in the danger zone. Hong Kong's pick. I'll say again, I'll say every time, it's Hong Kong's pick. They still have chosen not to go for Dynasty. Maybe they don't like it. Maybe I don't know their reasoning. But they go for Fort and Field instead.
I still don't think double time is a bad option. I mean, we saw that both of these teams are interesting on double time in terms of the qualifiers, but Hong Kong managed to beat them on the first one, so why not try it again?
And they will try again, despite the MVP being Kevzy on the last DET. If his team back him up this time, we could see a different result. We could see a 4-2 for Norway. Or they could close it out here. Use that accuracy, make sure they're holding those repeat sliders. Fjell does make a very good point. They're trying to lock, maybe trying to get, lock Yolk's Pie out of this.
Could definitely be something that's part of their strategy. Seeing as Yerkspy is obviously not in for the double time picks, not really the most fun play.
Did we see him in for the last map either? I would have expected him in for the alternating pick. I'm not sure.
Is Vexpy just missing in action at this point?
Could be that
I
he
mean-
had to leave for something. Which, if so, it might be good for Norway even that their Yoke Spy maps aren't getting picked.
We will be getting into Double Time 3 here though, and this is a pretty speedy pick overall. It's going to be interesting to see how they do perform on this one because it's a little bit different from Double Time 1, but same basic concept. It's just the aim is a little bit faster but also on the shorter side, and there is a little bit more focus on burst control in this one. You do see an early miss coming in from MCY4. But it's still early days, so we have plenty of time for comebacks, and accuracy could definitely play a big role in this one.
Could this be Norway warming up? Could this be Hong Kong running out of steam? Ryushi misses, drops down to 2 FCs on the side of Hong Kong again. It's Petal and Denny and Nezar putting their team on their back and saying, "We've got this."
Fiel finding a really rough miss on a single, or the slider stacked behind the single, I believe. MCY4 finding another miss, which is a bit uncharacteristic.
As does Ryushi.
I mean, we saw him perform really well on the previous double time, I believe. Hong Kong are kind of down 2 players at the moment, whereas Norway are still holding on to 3 full combos.
94% FC on Petal, but that doesn't matter. He's kept his combo. He's bringing the points home.
Yeah, I mean, combo could be the difference maker in this situation. All it takes is 2 to 3 players to break on Norway's side for, you know, the score to turn back in their favor, and that will happen very quickly.
We've got a match: GN versus Petal. Denny and Nezar versus Afro Dafro on accuracy, but the other 2 players are the places to look, really. MCY Ryushi building up their combos. Fiel has the higher combo than the both of them, and Petal misses, drops his FC. 1 FC on the side of Hong Kong versus 3 plus 1 very high combo on Norway. Very unfortunate miss for Fiel. It could have been 4 FCs, and they take a second point, it's looking like. Denny and Nezar trying his best. Has the accuracy there, trying to fight off Afro Dafro, but his team just faltering a little bit. Maybe getting psyched out slightly by that last point, losing a map that they didn't want to lose.
GN does happen to break right at the end there, but Norway do take that one very convincingly, having almost 3 full combos on that map. They're pulling themselves together, they're getting themselves back into the game, bringing it back 4-2.
We've got a match, boys. We've got a match.
Are we going to see a tiebreaker? That's the real question here. I mean,
Fiel wants to sell his keyboard.
Hong Kong were up 4-0, and now Norway have managed to take 2 points, both their own and Hong Kong. So, I mean, it's possible. It's definitely possible. This is the Norway we were looking for at the beginning of the match.
Definitely. And with 1.1 million on Denny and Nezar, the chain continues of the MVP being on the losing side.
Tragedy strikes in that situation. When you play the best, but you still lose.
Something, try your best, but don't succeed. Moving on, Norway's pick. They're in control.
They've got a little bit of breathing room now. The fact that they have the next pick gives them a tiny little bit of breathing room. They get, you know, they get to calm down a little bit. I think Carnation might be up for grabs here. The one that you've really been looking out for.
I want to see it. It's low approach rate. It basically fits Norway to a T, and now that they've woken up after their unfortunate loss on Hidden 2, no mod 5, Carnation, it's got to be picked. But then at the same time, they just won on DT. They could go for Seisen Spectacle. They could go for Unagi Bo from free mod, take some hiddens, try and force Hong Kong onto Hard Rock. But of course, for Hong Kong, it's still their Dynasty. It's the expected pick.
I think it's a really, really rough decision for them right now because they could rival Hong Kong on Hard Rock for sure. I don't doubt that. But based on the fact that Hong Kong had such a strong qualifier performance on CS 6.5, makes Dynasty a really scary pick. And they also did happen to lose Junshin Always. So Tokimeki Sugar being a very similar map might throw them off from picking Hard Rock. I think at this point we can probably expect maybe they might match Variable, Carnation. Free mod is also an option, depending on whether or not they want to overmod. Because they did choose to overmod on Mephisto, and I think that might have been a bit of a misplay from them. But maybe they weren't particularly going for the accuracy battle, especially against Hong Kong. I mean, that is actually a smart choice.
Norway taking their time for their pick. Understandable.
And they're opting for double time, which actually isn't a bad pick considering they just won on double time. Might want to be trying to throw it back in their face, seeing if they can beat them on speed for a second time in a row.
It was very difficult to pick, and understandable. This one, what can you tell me about Seisen Spectacle?
Seisen Spectacle is a relatively old map, but it's hard to say that it actually feels like an old map because, I mean, it's quite comfortable in terms of its mapping style, but it features a lot of bursts, so you definitely need to be a player who is capable of hitting them high BPM bursts for a long time. This one coming in at around about 230 BPM. It's going to be pretty tricky to stream this BPM, especially for the length of the bursts. But players should have a roster lined up for this kind of thing. We might see some odd finger locks coming in depending on whether or not you're capable of hitting the bursts. You might not have the speed or have the ability to hack the map correctly, but comboing those bursts is definitely going to be a big part of this one.
Have fun, comes out and fell. We'll get into the map momentarily.
We are actually still waiting on a player from Hong Kong. But that have fun coming in early, very enthusiastic from Fiel. As you can see, he's excited, being his first OWC. Just wishing everyone to have fun. Good sportsmanship.
See a player late from Hong Kong. We want to play it in. Uncertain about their roster. We saw Petal do well last map. We saw Denny and Nezar do well last map. Keeping them in.
I think we can definitely expect MCY4 coming back in for this one, but as for the fourth player, it's really hard to call.
Who has the stamina for this sort of thing? It's there's definitely an aim component as well. They want Gids in. Their captain. Not
Captain from a distance.
Which team was it? I saw in a Junihun interview. Oh, it was Synchro for Netherlands. He's their pick master. He hasn't been a member of the OWC team for a little while since he deranked out of the range, but whenever they ask him for a pick and he gives them a pick and they pick it, they win it. Allegedly.
I mean, you might be seeing some sort of coaches coming in for Osu at some point. I wouldn't be surprised if that does become a thing in the future.
Yeah, I could see
like
that.
We have it in League of Legends and all sorts of things. I wouldn't be surprised if we see some Osu coaches that, stand in the back line right behind the teams once we've got, Ozu players playing in a lane setup, even though that probably wouldn't be the most ideal, seeing as playing in your home setup is a lot more comfortable.
Hey, USA's already claimed a coach. They've already claimed Monko as their coach.
That is true, that is true.
We're still waiting for the Hong Kong player. The longer we wait, the less shaky I get, says Afro. Hello Tom comes back in, and Chaos Litz, their fourth, their anchor.
Yeah, honestly, Hello Tom Lord coming in for this one, not really that much of a surprise, seeing as he's just a strong player overall. A bit of a surprise not to see MCY4 in this one, but maybe not too fond of the burst maps. Could also just be having a little bit of an off moment, you know, might not be feeling it in terms of nerves or just feeling like they're underperforming. I definitely have had instances myself in tournaments where, you know, I'm capable of playing a map, but then I sort of opt to sit out just because I haven't been playing too well. We all have those moments, so it could be one of those situations.
Of course, yeah, individual skill sets for players do matter, but it's all about how you're feeling on the day. You get one chance. That's it. One
That's
go
a
at this
lot.
score.
That's a lot to have riding on your conscience, you know, when you're playing in this. It's like,